Bienvenue everyone, I am Streaky Geek and this is my first ever pickups video. So these are the ones I picked up recently, I just wanted to share with you guys. I've just recently picked up a PlayStation 4 and I thought I need to get this game. I know a lot of people moan about the fact that it's too short and it wasn't worth the full retail, blah blah blah. It cost me £8 and that's the most expensive game on my list today by a mile. £8, it's got to be worth that. It's steampunk, it's got werewolves in, so yeah, I've got a lot of hope for this game. I'm sure I'll enjoy it without too huge an expectation going on that one. Next we have Splinter Cell Conviction. Okay, there's like 8 million Splinter Cell games, usually pretty hardcore, proper military spy type stealth shooter things. I was interested in this one because it seems to have more of a kind of James Bondy type feel, and it's got some new weird mechanics like the target and kill mode, whatever it's called, and it's apparently less hardcore and more accessible, so i.e. easier, and I like easier, so that's good. I got this for 75p. Now, Command & Conquer Generals, that's literally never ever going to get played by me. I suck horribly at proper real-time strategy games. Medal of Honor Allied Assault I'm sure is pretty cool. The Medal of Honor games are always pretty decent, but Battlefield 1942 is the one I got this for. That's why I really want to try out, like some of the Battlefield games, and this is the only way you can get a physical copy of Battlefield 1942. Obviously you can get it separately, but I got it cheap with other stuff too, so that was cool. Next up we've got a bunch of licensed games. So yep, Bionicle, the Lego series of robot things, but a really decent third-person shooter. I've played this on the Wii, so it's pretty much exactly the same game, although the graphics are going to look a bit better, I imagine. Probably not significantly, but yeah, looks good fun. Give that a try. X-Men. I've got a load of X-Men games, and it's called X-Men the official game, bizarrely, even though it's based on X-Men 3, hence the Wolverine claw. And yeah, you get to play as the X-Men and chop stuff up, so can't be that bad surely. We'll give that a go. Interestingly, a almost opposite of a licensed game, so I'm not a follower of American football whatsoever, haven't really watched a match for about 20 odd years. I've never played an American football game I've enjoyed, but this one looks mental. It's called Backbreaker, which again is cool for a start. No NFL official license at all, and it's got loads of fictional teams with crazy names apparently, so I'm looking forward to that. But more importantly, it's not like a big team game. It almost seems like you play as one member of the team because you're the viewers behind them, like you get in a third-person game. So it feels like you're part of the team rather than sort of watching from above. It could absolutely suck, or it could be the sleeper hit and be my one of each type category, because I always like to have at least one of every type of game. So this might be my one American football game. This has been on my wish list for years. Absolutely one of my favourite films ever when I was a youngster. That price tag is hilarious because I paid nothing near that, because apparently this game is absolutely terrible. So even when it first came out and was getting terrible reviews, so when it wasn't quite as obscure as it is now, I really still wanted this because I thought, well, I'm sure I can overlook its flaws because I love the subject material. So my plan is to use this for my next episode of the A to Z series, so it can be the B-side for the F episode. So hopefully we get a proper treatment of that soon. Wonder how bad it's really going to be. And last licensed game, SpongeBob SquarePants Move In With Friends. Now, these were called Nicktoons in America, but just SpongeBob here because we didn't have Nicktoons as a thing. And look, the iToy. I've got almost a complete collection of the iToy games now, and completely stupid. Obviously the precursor to things like the PS3 camera, and yeah, usually the games are terrible, but it's SpongeBob, it's iToy, that might be fun. Then we've got some driving games. So this I'd never heard of, Wheel Spin. Again, it's got a different name in America, I can't remember what, but it says there by Archer McLean. Not the toothpaste guy I'm guessing, but the guy who did the Meltdown puzzle games that came on the PSP and on the Wii, I think. So again, it doesn't look a particularly exciting driving game, but I always like to have things that use the Wii wheel. It doesn't say it does there, but I'm pretty sure I've seen it online packaged with a Wii wheel. So there's that, or the classic controller, or GameCube controller. So a lot of options to play this with real controllers as opposed to Wii waggling. So giving that a go. The other driving game I got was this one, Jacked, and knew nothing about it. I was quite chuffed there to see that originally it was supporting male cancer, so that's cool. But it might be absolutely terrible, but it just absolutely screamed Road Rash at me, and I doubt for 1 minute it's going to be comparable to Road Rash in terms of quality, but it's a motorbike game where you get to hit people. So I've got to give that a try. Since it was 75p, that's definitely worth a go. So next up we're going to the mobile stuff. Where the Wild Things Are. Now, there's one reason I've got this. I didn't like the film at all. The original book's great. I thought the film was weird and totally off theme. But look, Way Forward. Now, Way Forward are almost like a sleeper hit. They're almost like a cult company in that everything they make is really well received critically, pretty much. And I would say they're the modern day treasure in that everything they do is really critically acclaimed, and I wouldn't be surprised to see all their games creeping up in value. I've played loads of their stuff, and this again, 75p for a complete inbox DS game with manual and everything, and it's by Way Forward, so we'll give that a go. Now, the next one's interesting because Shinobi for the 3DS, which I'm going to have to kindly ask my little boy if I can borrow his 2DS to play this on, because I had to sell mine ages ago when I was strapped for cash, but I'll give it a go. Now, although it's got the massive Sega brand on it, and we know Sega is Shinobi, this one was actually made by Kryptonite Games, who I think, again, are a bit of a sleeper hit company. I'll definitely be doing a Kryptonite Games list at some point in the future. And Where the Wild Things Are, the Wii version, which is a totally different game, is also by these guys. So that's a bit of a link. And I've played quite a bit of that, and I think it's really underrated. A really nice little 3D platformer. So again, Shinobi games are good. This one's got great ratings and is dirt cheap at the moment. £4 for a 3DS game that's got great reviews by a company that I think are a sleeper company. They were really, really good. Next, Ben 10. Now, Ben 10 games, for the most part, are at least playable, and some of them are really very good, and obviously sell for absolute peanuts because it's a franchise, so everybody thinks that it's going to be terrible. But again, £1 for a PSP game that you take on the go, a nice little beat-em-up shooter type game, and yeah, again, I've played bits of this, I think, on the Wii, I think, and yeah, there are definitely better Ben 10 games, but this is well worth it. And finally, not a game at all, but just another one from my UMD collection. Love this movie. I think it's infinitely rewatchable, so a great one to take on the road with you on your PSP when you want to watch a good movie. And the last category is what I consider my guilty shame. So these are ones I've owned in the past and now I had to rebuy them. First, Fighter's Destiny for the Nintendo 64. During one of my purges, I decided, well, I've got Killer Instinct and I don't need another fighting game on the N64, and I've got plenty of other 3D fighters, but this is a pretty good game. I really wish I had the sequel instead, because the second game is so much better, but that was a US only game. So yeah, Fighter's Destiny. It's fun. The controls aren't brilliant, it's a bit clunky, but it's got some neat ideas with sort of scoring points for knocking people down rather than a straight out life bar. Alone in the Dark, which has terrible reviews but had some really innovative fire mechanics and other bits going on. The story looks a bit more interesting from the bits I've seen than I probably gave fair chance the first time. So I've bought this one a few times for the Xbox, PS3, Wii, and then got rid of it again, but I thought I'm going to keep it this time. So it's staying and I'm going to persevere with it. Next we have Legends of WrestleMania. Again, when I was madly in love with Fire Pro Wrestling Returns, I thought I don't ever need to play another wrestling game again. But I was probably wrong. It's got all the classic wrestlers back from the 80s and 90s and some of the modern ones, or newer ones anyway. And yeah, great roster. Hulk Hogan, who we're not allowed to mention anymore. But Arn Anderson from the Four Horsemen, his only official appearance as far as I'm aware. I don't even think he's had DLC anywhere, but maybe he has. Fight Club. Everyone loves the movie, everyone hates the game. I can't even remember if I have owned this in the past or not. I have a feeling I did, tried it briefly, thought it was rubbish and got rid of it. And since read things about it online and seen videos about how totally awful it is and how totally inappropriate it is to the theme of the film, and I thought, I'm going to try it again, you know, for a laugh. I think that'd be great. My last repurchase is Child of Eden, the spiritual successor to Rez. So it's a weird kind of shooter game with geometric shapes and sound and rhythmy. Yeah, only reason this is a repurchase is I had it on the Xbox 360 and my Kinect is long gone, but I've got the PS Move, so that gives me a chance to play it with the Move as well as with the ordinary controllers, which is perfectly decent. And the final game in my new pickups, I'm getting shot, it's so big. Perfect Pinball, an old 1995 PC big box game, which I just had to get. I'm a bit concerned it probably won't even play on my Windows 8 machine. Here we have, I'll try and cover up the number, but yeah, the original receipt from it was bought in 1995 in the box. So, instruction manual. There's the CD that it comes with, the CD-ROM. And someone's even included the original 3.5-inch floppy disk. I'm assuming they didn't have one of those modern, expensive CD-ROM drives, so they probably got somebody with money to put that on a disc for them so they could play it. And this is the best bit, if we can see here. Plus these 6 tables to unlock when you dare. And if you look in the top left corner there, the unlocking of additional tables will require further payment payable over the telephone by most debit and credit cards. So this is the earliest version of DLC. So it's DLC on the disc, but you can't even pay for it because online doesn't really exist. So you have to phone up and read your credit card number over the phone to unlock these extra 6 tables. I'm guessing that that phone number's probably not going to work anymore because it was 20 years ago. So I'm going to have to look online to see if there's a way to maybe hack into this ancient disc to get these other tables. So that's my lot. Thanks for watching my pickup video, and see you again for the next one. Bye!